White Lion Densetsu's definitely an odd one. We've got these pyramids on the title screen. In fact, the subtitle given on the box is Pyramid no Kanata ni, or Beyond the Pyramids. There are no pyramids in the game. The reason for this weirdness is that this is a film tie-in. The movie has an official English title of Beyond the Pyramids, Legend of the White Lion. It also has nothing to do with pyramids. The movie's an obscure Japanese co-production that I don't believe was ever released anywhere except Japan. In it, a young girl's on an archaeological dig at the pyramids, and then in the first 5 minutes she finds a hidden passage that takes her away from anything to do with Egypt and goes to sub-Saharan Africa. That's where the actual plot of the movie takes place, as she accompanies a boy in a coming-of-age story as they hunt down a ghost lion. And they turned that movie into an RPG with a pseudo-medieval Europe setting. The boy is still in the game, but all other traces of Africa have been erased. In the game, you're Maria, a young girl whose parents set off to find the source of the legend of the White Lion. They vanished, and so Maria sets out on her own journey to find them. The game actually starts you out in a locked room with nothing in it, and that's because you already have the key in your inventory. Similar to Dragon Quest, you hit the A button to bring up a menu, and there you can choose to talk, use items from your inventory, search the area, or look at your status. Your status doesn't actually help you much because you're only tracking 4 things: hope, courage, dreams, and money. Or to use other RPG terms, level, hit points, and magic points. Before you can even get out of the first area, you're swept downstream and awakened in a magical kingdom. And the first things you'll encounter are these fairies, and fairies are the resting points in the game. They'll refill your life and save your progress. There's 3 save slots in White Lion Densetsu. As you start to explore, you'll get into your RPG combat, and here's where things get really different. Maria has the choice to fight or run away, and then when she fights, she can use an item from her inventory, or she can summon a spirit. Spirits are also tied to objects. Using an item from the inventory is how you can recover health by eating bread, or if you choose to use a weapon, then you'll hit the enemy with it. Whatever you used last becomes the first item in your inventory, so that makes it really fast to be able to mash through these combats. Summoning a spirit uses up some of your dream points, and generally they're more effective than Maria. Using the spear summons Moja, the boy from the movie, and he just attacks. The lamp summons Twana the wizard. Naturally, he has a list of spells that you can cast each turn. Getting a red ring will let you summon a halfling. It has very high defense and very weak attack. The rapier will let you summon an elf who also casts spells, but not with the same skill that Twana does. When you win the battle, you get money, but no experience. The way that you level up is that you have to find bits of hope that are scattered around the world. And as your hope increases, so do the abilities of the spirits that you summon. Moja's abilities scale pretty rapidly and stay with you, while Twana gets a new spell pretty much every level. The rest of the summons progress much more slowly. While summoning will take an entire turn for Maria, enemies may choose to attack either her or one of her summons, and whoever you summon gets to act on that same turn. And then on the next turn, you have 2 actions you can take. You can also have multiple summons out at once, though for the most part, combat goes so quickly that by the time you have more than 2 out, the battle is over. One big hiccup for me in White Lion Densetsu is that there's no healing magic. The only way to recover is to go back to a fairy pond, or eat some bread. So really, you'll need to fill up your inventory with bread before you head off to a difficult area. If you get defeated in combat, you go back to the fairy pond you last rested at, and you lose half of your cash. Usually it's going to be better to hit reset and reload the game. While it's always hard for me to judge an RPG, I found White Lion Densetsu to be pretty swingy with its difficulty. Enemies start out as nearly impossible to beat until you find your first level up, and then that step up is so huge that they become trivial to defeat. And the same thing happened with the next round of enemies that I fought. And for the third set of enemies, I never got them to the point where they were easy to defeat, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was coming soon. So, I kinda like White Lion Densetsu. I'm not gonna say it's one of the all-time great Famicom RPGs, but I do like the spirit summoning mechanics. It's basically asking you what party you want to have every time you get into combat. And it's a very streamlined game, especially when we're talking about things like the inventory. In Japan, it's virtually forgotten, just like the movie, and the US version is nearly as obscure. But I like the oddball games, and I find this one interesting.